manifested to us in the sacrificial death of Christ on behalf of the undeserving. Beauty is thus an active power. If we have eyes to see perfect beauty, it is like a magnet that draws us to it. And if we are drawn into the beauty of that holy love, then we too must respond to it in our loves and actions. Our deepest desires will be to love God and to love what God loves. So a life built around a response to God's beauty should be characterized by the traits of those who are being drawn into the loving fellowship of the triune God. Dane Ortlund, following Edwards, spells out practical dimensions of what that involves. Preface. 30 years after Jonathan Edwards died, Ezra Stiles, president of Yale, predicted that Edwards's books would soon enjoy transient notice perhaps scarce above oblivion, and that, when posterity occasionally comes across them in the rubbish of libraries, the rare characters who may read and be pleased with them will be looked upon as singular and whimsical. Ezra who? To me, and according to any decent library's section on Edwards, to many others, it is a small price to pay to be viewed as singular and whimsical when reading and enjoying the writings of Jonathan Edwards. The supreme value of reading Edwards, by which I have in mind reading not for the sake of academic cleverness, but for the sake of one's soul, is not historical insight or doctrinal sharpening or moral improvement, though these things happen. The supreme value of reading Edwards is that we are ushered into a universe brimming with beauty. Edwards walks us through the wardrobe into Narnia. We are given glasses, not sunglasses, which dim everything, but their opposite, lenses that brighten everything. Much has been written on Edwards in recent years. Do we really need another book on the man? And yet surprisingly little has been said at a non-technical level that connects his theology of Christian living with the current state of the Church. Even if much had been written on his theology of the Christian life, those who have spent time with Edwards will agree that complaining about another Edwards book today is like complaining about another meal today. Regular nourishment doesn't get old. The purpose of this book is to reflect on how a Massachusetts pastor 300 years ago understood the Christian life, and, upon this reflection, to be changed so that we are slightly different people than we would otherwise be. Calmer, gentler, happier, a little brighter, to use Edwards' favorite metaphor, more beautiful, more human. We are simply asking, then, under Jonathan Edwards's tutelage, what does it mean to live as a Christian? What is a Christian? Edwards's answer exposes our misconceptions. To live as a Christian at its core is not to adhere to a set of morals, or to assent to right doctrine, or to champion a set of ethical causes, or to passively receive forgiveness of sins, or to attend church, or give to the poor, or say the right prayer, or come from a godly family. All of these have value, but for Edwards, none of them is definitive of Christian living. The Christian life, he says, is to enjoy and reflect the beauty of God. Everything Edwards wrote on Christian living funnels down into this. All the obedience and giving and generosity and kindness and praying and Bible reading in the world without a heart sense of divine beauty is empty, even damning. Our strategy will be to ask 12 questions about the Christian life and provide, from Edwards, corresponding answers. These will form the chapters of this book, with the final 13th chapter diagnosing 4 weaknesses in Edwards's view of the Christian life. 12 chapters identify what we can learn from Edwards. 1 chapter identifies what he could learn from us. In brief, the 12 questions and answers are these. 1. What is the overarching, integrating theme to Edwards's theology of the Christian?